Okay. Can you guys hear me?
I can hear you.
Okay, let me uh-oh, hold on a minute. Got an echo going
Got a big time echo.
over here. Yeah, it's my other computer. Let me cut him out. Chop him off.
I can hear you perfectly.
Okay, cool. Don't need any echoes. Okay. Here we go. So, Amina, you good with your sound and everything?
Yes, sir, entirely.
Okay. All right. So we are here today. Very grateful, very grateful to have Barbara Grace Reynolds, the, our personal spiritual ancient channel as well as loved one. You know what I mean? We want to basically give respect to, all of the spirits, all of the love, all of the source, all of the love energy that we could potentially have here with us all together, those who will see this in live and those who will come on after the fact. I want to put out as much power, love, prosperity, unlimitedly, unconditionally, and unapologetically, peace, love, and prosperity. We want to share some insight on the perspective of time. You know what I'm saying? We wanted to speak to the channel. We spoke to the ancients a couple of days ago and got a very tall perspective of things that confirmed a lot of things for me. But I wanted to go in and make sure that we were in the same perspective of everything with the idea and just giving everyone the opportunity, because I did put a few videos out asking the question. So let's pretty much go. And Barbara, I'll give you aspect. Amina, you have created some really um, very, very positive questions, powerful questions. And I wanted to get permission first and foremost. We already have this permission, but as us all together, we agree that this energy and this vibration is for the good of all. And as you told me, Barbara Grace, we only channel the energy that is useful for us, that is positive and peaceful and prosperous for us, individually and collectively, the way you explained it to me. And I pretty much took that same, you know, um, commandment into my experience, and I'll only allow the same thing. So respect, love, and prosperity. I appreciate you for even being present with us and allowing your time or your energy in this space. You know what I'm saying? So love, peace, and respect for that. And
How do I invite other people to join us?
okay, so Amina, can you help her with that, please? Because I think as far as joining, you should put them on the social media, and we can get up to 10 people. Let me see, one, two, three, four, five, six, seven, eight. We can get up to 10 people here. So that link that I sent you, you could send that link to someone if you want them to come up on screen with us like this. You could send them to that.
I don't remember getting a link.
Okay, no, that link that you sign in with, the one that you link to
Oh,
us with, that link right there will allow you to send it to others. And
oh gosh.
yeah, you want me to send it to you again? I can.
Once I sign in, I just never sign back
Oh,
out.
okay.
So I have no idea where that link
Not a
is.
problem. I'm gonna put it in the private chat for you right quick. Let me see if I can do that. I think this is it right here. If you click on that right there, and you can copy that right there and save that and send it to whoever you so choose, and they can, and
Okay.
up to 10 people. And if we need to lower some of the people on ours to actually let them come in, then we will. Okay. All right. So I give her time to get that together. And Amir, any of you, if you feel like you have to take a break off the camera, just get off the camera. You know what I'm saying? Just put yourself, in the background or whatever. All right. So you won't be bobbing and weaving.
Very much understood. Thank you very much for that. I'm about to turn my camera on in a minute. I'm just getting something straightened out here.
No problem. Let me turn your volume down a little bit on your mic. You all speak for me. Amina, you guys can get in the chat too if you see any of the other lives where we are, if you guys can sign into the other lives to make sure we're, where we are supposed to be and whatnot.
Already on it.
Okay, thank you so much. Peace and love and prosperity. Anybody that shows up, like I said, we here to spread that love, and I'm making sure that we are understood and overstood about that. Not here for the bull crap, but we know we are here for as above, so below. We are prosperous in the way of knowing that we do what we do respectfully. So how's y'all's day? How is everybody? Y'all can tell me what's going on. We're together, but at the same time, we move a certain way, so everybody has their thing to do. So what's good?
Life, I got no complaints. Life is good. It was able to get me a good workout in today. Staying consistent with that process. And
Yeah, well, I want to see you on the camera too, brother, before, because you are a part of this situation,
Yeah, sir.
I don't know how long you thought you would be able to hide out, but it's all good.
Yeah, no, I'm still over here trying to get something sorted out, actually.
Okay, go ahead and get it worked out. As long as I know you coming.
Yes,
As
sir.
long as I know you coming. Where's Crisis?
I'm honestly not sure.
Okay, well, does he know I sent him messages? So tell him to wake up and get on it. And
He's getting on it right now.
Okay. Respectfully, some of you all could actually be going to social media and checking out how it's performing there. I got us up on my YouTube, on both of my YouTubes, but I'm just muting it out to make sure we don't have no disagreements.
No disagreements.
Yeah, this is meant to be a good thing, always good thing. And when I'm going to put it in the mode to where when the speaker speaks, then that's the person that's up. I think is which one is it? Is it like, okay, no, it's not that one because I'm talking, and it's not that one. Let me see. Is it this one? No, it's not that one. You just the primary looks like Amina. Is it this one? It's not this one, but it could be this one. But at least we know we have choices.
Yes, sir.
These are.
I like your house, Amina.
Thank you.
Oh
You're
yeah,
right.
I told her when I need to get that chandelier back there. I need to get me a something. Barbara, I don't know if you know, but your camera is turned sideways.
No, actually, I didn't do anything to my camera. I don't know why I'm sideways. But let me see.
Are you on your phone or a computer?
It's computer. Okay, I'm back
computer.
up.
Yeah, there you go. Okay. Well, Amina, you can officially start that if you choose the questions, or we can. Well, first of all, Barbara Grace, I would love for you to share anything you would love to share before you go into anything, and in terms of us sharing. Excuse me. Please tell us when it's okay for us to speak. We don't want to be interrupting anything, based upon a question or answer that is being, given or received. We don't want to get in the way.
No, I don't have anything to start with. It's like they're all here and they're all waiting to hear what you
Okay.
want to know.
Okay. All is well. All is well. So, Amina, if you so gracefully introduce yourself, and we know who you are. They have to
Yes.
know who you are. And Amir, you can, you can change your back. You got a background. You're good to stay on. Amir, you can get off and stay on. I'm not flexing with you like that. I'm just saying, you can. I mean, I know where you are, but your background looks like you're right there in where you are. Cool. All right. Thank you. Love, peace, and prosperity, everyone. Okay, Amina, you got it. I got the thing in front of me. My camera might go off every now and then because I got Sergeant here. So, so yeah. Everyone, please forgive the delay. Start, but here we are. We are in the now because as we are here to discuss about life happening, but
But space and time is on our side.
is truly on our side.
Thank you, sir.
All right, all right. Thank you so much. Okay, Amina, you're free to go.
Okay, let me
Um,
see what's in here really quick.
I'm gonna
Somebody
let
else has just joined.
I'm gonna let her in. Hello.
Okay, there should
Hi.
be two people coming in,
Yeah,
Okay.
and
Welcome.
she's one of
Well,
them.
hello. How are you?
I'm great. How
Malik,
are you?
this is
I'm one.
Jocelyn.
Pleasure to meet you, Jocelyn.
Pleasure's mine.
Thank you so much. I'm grateful to be here with you. We're grateful to have you here with us.
Yeah, I've been trying to get on. I kept hearing the repeat after one thing, then finally just able to.
Yeah, I always say when the powerful, when the energy's coming together to do something really high power, it's got to be a glitch so you can get a confirmation. For me, it's always because I got a lot of technology around here, but it's got to be a glitch so you can get that confirmation that what you're doing is what you're supposed to be doing. That's just my most,
Right.
humble opinion. No, that's my most direct
I'm with.
commandment about it.
I'm
Yeah.
with you.
Okay, thank you so much. Thank you so much. Okay, Amina, if you'd like to say anything, you're welcome to. And how do you pronounce your name? I want to make sure I'm saying it correct.
Jocelyn.
Jocelyn. Okay, thank you. It's a pleasure to meet you. Amina,
Thank you.
you're welcome to do your thing. And you say one other person should be coming. Let me make sure I don't
One
have
other person, yes,
them
sir.
in the-
Yeah, he's not here
Okay.
yet, but he's coming. And it's Richard, the other one that I was
Okay,
telling you
great,
about.
great. I'm grateful. I'm grateful to have him here. That's wonderful. Okay, well, we could wait a few minutes and let him get on before we actually start. It's fine.
I don't know how long it'll take him, so we can
Okay,
go
and
ahead.
Amina, be looking in the background for him to pop up. I'll be paying attention as well.
Yes,
Thank
sir.
All right, and you may do your thing, sweetheart.
Yes, sir. Thank you, everyone, for joining our event today. Life happens, but space and time is on our side. I'm Amina McCullers, and I will basically be asking Barbara and Love King Malik some questions, or we'll just be pretty much dialoguing about how time is on our side. So let me pull up these
And let
questions.
me make something clear right fast. I'm going to be dialoguing from my perspective but she's going to be from the perspective of the ancients of channel as from the perspective of source. All of us are, but the elder is the respectable figure in the aspect of what we're doing. And not to say that we're not all here tapped in. It's just I want to make that clear. Look, she's even in the middle. Yeah. Okay. So go
It's
ahead.
for a reason, that's for sure.
All right. I'm going to mute my mic there. Thank you.
Okay. So let me pull up these questions right here, because I actually had a great few of them. And I'm not sure if Love King wanted to ask some of them as well, or if he's just going to be.
I mean, I can. It's not a problem. Because some of these questions, I mean, I will give you the hands. I'll give you a let me ask type thing. You know what I'm
Yes.
saying? It's pretty much the same because it is what it is. I'm sure they're going to give us the answer that is, necessary for what is in the ether at this moment. So
Yes,
all is well. I'm open in all ways. Okay.
Okay.
All right.
So here's my first question. What would you say? Why would you say the concept of time has been created?
I would say that because humans created time. It was something that you felt the need for. You wanted to be able to plan, to project. And so you came up with time. Before there was a need to be into planning and projecting, when life was, you lived in the now, and time had no bearing on you. It wasn't a concept you had even thought of. And so it is part of the evolution of humans that you have come up with time. And you have reached a point in your evolution for so many of you where you are allowing time to run your life. You don't realize that time is a tool that you created, and instead you have given time the power to dictate to you how your life should go. And it's time to recognize that and to let time go back to just being the tool that you can use. so that you can live in the now.
Well, thank you for that. I appreciate it.
You're welcome.
Okay, so I do have another question. Actually, there's a great few questions here. Let me see.
You didn't want to keep them in the order that they're in, or you just wanted to? Because the questions are so vast. I mean, it's all the same. It's all pertaining to kind of the same thing.
Yes, sir. Okay, well then, yeah, I'll just keep it in order then. Okay,
Okay.
so my next question is, what is it about perception that's caused us to give time so much importance to the point where we allow it to affect us more than necessary?
People have become separate. They've become separate from each other. They've become separate from their creator. They've become separate from the divine beings who are here to help you. And as you become separate, you become smaller. And as you become smaller, you feel like you're losing control. And so, in order to have control, they've created time. Because if you are within the constructs of time, then you are back in control. But the reality is, you're not. Because you're not meant to be in control of time. Because there is no time. So, the more you are into the belief in the separation, the belief in you are alone, you are standing on your own, you do not have the support of the ones that you may not be able to see, but they are with you, then the more dependent you become upon time, and the more important you make time. There are many cultures in the world where time is not important. They live in the now. And there are also many cultures where time is extremely important. And they have all sorts of ideas and rules and punishments if you are not on time. But like everything else in life, it's a choice. You get to choose what's actually important to you. You get to choose who you are being.
All right, so here's my next question.
Can I not interrupt? But I wanted to
Interject.
interject something, because upon the clear concept of that explanation, you can go ahead and get them in. I mean, if you can. Okay. I was confirmed, like you're right. It just from the confirmation of that, I've realized in my own experience that it's impossible for time to exist in my experience, because I once thought I had control over it, and I really did things that gave me what experiences that led me to believe that. But when it came down to my awakening, some things happened that made me realize that it wasn't about time. It really was about the present now and my alignment to things that I actually commanded or willed into my experience or intended into my experience. And I realized, through that experience that we spoke about my mother, and how that changed just the whole perspective of my experience by the way everything happened. It really stripped the perspective of time away from me. And that's why I'm so grateful for the confirmation of, we did. I know I did create my own timelines. And now that I'm in a different vibrational realm of things, I actually, in the present now of things, I actually see the result of my commitment, my will, and the allowance of it, because it's all in there. The intention, the allowance, the will, because I don't want for anything. I have no desires for anything anymore, because I know that I am the I am. But that was what it took to get to the confirmation. So I'm grateful for that and receiving that. Thank you. And I just wanted to input that because it's important, because I know a lot of people feel the same way, especially as we've gotten older, or especially as we've gone through these experiences that have actually changed our trajectory and our perception of things. And I want to thank Richard. Hello, Richard. How are you? Thank you for coming to the live. It's a pleasure to meet you, sir.
Pleasure to meet you as well, Malik. I'm doing very well, thank you.
Okay, thank you. So we'll continue on. If you have any questions, you're welcome to, speak up. Speak up when you choose.
Understood. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, so my next question is, does time really have a starting point?
In the grand scheme of things, there is eternity. And there is no time. There simply is eternity. For the Creator, time is not a factor. For the human, time is a factor. And as I've already stated, there was a time for humans when time was not there. It was not something you even took into consideration. But now you've reached a point in your evolution where time is an accepted concept. And so most people are, but that does not mean that time is powerful. It just means that you've come to an agreement about time. And you can change that agreement at any time. And even when we are using the word time, we are still just seeing it as a tool that allows us to connect with you, to help you to understand what we are saying. But it is not important to us because, frankly, we don't deal with time. And people who are connected to their guidance, to the divine beings who are assisted them, they know that there is no connection to time. And that's why you came up with the word miracles, because miracles happen outside of time. Does this make sense to you?
Yes, it does.
Yes,
And based on something that you said, I wanted to ask also. You said that that we just came to an agreement about time and that it could change. If it were to change, how would that change everything else?
Well, if you made time more flexible so that it was more of an outline for your life instead of something specific in your life, then that would give you more flexibility, that would give you more freedom, that would give you the ability to do the things that you're doing without having worries about time. See, one of the parts of time that you have created is deadlines. And deadlines say that you have to have something done by this time. And that is a restriction, an imposition on you. Well, if time was more open, more flowing, more free, then you would have the ability to live in the now. And in the now, there is no time. You've experienced this in your lives. There are times when you are having such a good time that time seems to speed up, but time doesn't actually change. And there are times in your life when you wish time would speed up, or you're running late and you wish time would slow down. And some people have actually used their guidance, their connections, to move beyond time and to still be on time even though they were late. So you see, you can play with time. It's okay to play with it. It's okay to remold it, so to speak, so that it works for you instead of working against you.
Respectfully, I want to add something to that, because all that does is prove that, like you said, when you're happy and time goes, I've learned, because I do all this rife frequency healing, and I do sound healing now. I realize it is just the frequencies that are changing, and vibrations, and it's going up and lowering and raising. Like, okay, for an example, yeah, the frequency really goes fast when you're happy, it seems, and it goes slow when you're sad. It seems like I can tie those two together. It seems like the energy, the vibration goes hand in hand with that. And time, so-called time, is the same thing. That's why I realized in another form of saying that the ancient spoke to me and said it's just about alignment and in the now. You have to be in the now. You'll be in alignment when you become present in the now, because it's all about alignment. I put time on the schedule for people that I respect, have respect for time, but I put it as space now. I call it blocks of space as a result of me going through things that kind of forced me to not see it that way. So in my force of doing that, my blocks of space have been in right alignment with the time frame that whoever I'm in alignment with. And then if it is not 11:15, I guarantee you, when we show up at 11:20 or 11:30, if the love is still there, the energy is still high, and whatever you're supposed to get to, you realize. For me, I've already realized that it's still now, because nothing changes, especially when someone wants to complain about it. Okay, so what are we going to do about the 15 minutes? What are we going to do? We're going to sit here and talk for 15 more minutes about the so-called time we were late, or we're going to get now and get progress.
You gotta bring it back.
That's my solutions for that, but I appreciate another confirmation.
No, I do have a question for you now. So you said that instead of calling it time, you call it space. Would that change your perspective? How has that changed things for you?
Well, because time has such a different energy attached to it, and that is ether energy. That's everybody's energy, and most people see time, a higher percentage see it the same way. So the ether is probably leaning that way, if you as well even think of that. Me personally, because I've redirected the time and called it space, and I know that I'm in the present now, and it's about alignment. I can jump to space in my astro, in my quantum, and I can go to the space that I know, and this has nothing to do with time. Just like she said, miracles have nothing to do with time. They happen via the ether and via the outer space. So it can't have anything to do with time. And another thing, it's just, for me, time is lined up to be nothing but space. And in this space reality that I have, been in, I know that we have control over it, because we can just let it go. Let it go and align to what you so do create in your experience. What you intend, will, and command is what's going to take place anyway, whether or not you like it or not. That is all my life. I'm 56 years old, and I'm telling you, I'm the type that has gone back to try to go make sure. So you got to prove it to me. I'm an only child. My mother told me I could do anything I set my mind to. So you're not just going to convince me. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to have to see it for myself. I'm going to have to fall a few times. I'm going to have to hit that wall. If I can't go through it, I'm going to figure a way around it. But it's been spiritually that I've only been able to get across it. It's like the wall is not there once I actually got to the awakening of no time, because it's a jump past all of that. It's just space. So that's what I would say to that.
Yes, sir.
And
Well,
we would agree with what you're saying. And there are so many of the light workers who do their healing work by holding space for others. They don't say, we're going to do this, and it's going to happen exactly at 6:03 p.m., so make sure that you're sitting down. No, they don't do that. They simply hold the space so that they are there to support the people that they are working with. And they can allow the miracles, whatever those miracles are, to come into that space. And that is how they do the healing in the most effective way.
Thank you for confirmation, because I'm so grateful. I'm so grateful for knowing at this point, because it's nothing like knowing, just for me. And I'm not forcing anybody's hand or anything like that, but I just know looking inside it gets you knowing you. And I'm so grateful for the confirmation, because everything that you have said since we have been even back in contact with each other, it's been a confirmation of things that I've been, confirming for years and years and years in my life. But for us, sometimes it takes an elder spirit. It always has for me, because I've been kind of ahead of stuff in a way, not saying it, arrogantly, but very respectfully. And I've had to learn this position. I've had to take responsibility for this position. So yeah, I'm grateful for that. Thank you for the confirmation once again.
You're welcome.
I mean, we can go.
Thank you, sir. So what would you say it means to live in the now?
Living in the now means being present to what you are experiencing right now. Most people either live in the past or they live in the future. When you live in the past, you spend all of your time thinking about what you've already done, feeling the regrets over what's already happened. Some people spend most of their time being angry about things that have already happened. And then they wonder, well, how do I stop being so angry? Well, get out of the past. Come into the present. Look at what's happening in your life right now, in this moment. And in this moment, you'll find that you're probably absolutely fine. You're safe, you're loved, and you can experience the joy of simply being in the moment when you are living in the now. When you are living in the future, you are usually feeling anxiety because you're thinking about what hasn't happened yet. And you're wondering, is this going to happen? And how is it going to happen? And when is it going to happen? And what is it that I need to do to make sure that everything happens the way I want it to happen? But in the now, everything is fine. And there's nothing to worry about.
Indeed. It was a little echo, but someone got their computer on. Can you cut your mic off? Right? But is that who all has it? Because it just always good. You all hear that?
Mm-hmm, I can hear you.
Okay, so everybody. Okay. I'm muted. Everybody's muted. I'm not sure what took place there. I had a browser to come up on my computer. I'm going to interrupt this. Yeah, I'm not seeing it. Any place. Okay, well, I'm going to turn my mic off and continue on.
Excuse us for that slip. Okay, that must be something. Let me see. Everybody check your browsers and make sure that you have what's happening with the event still playing. Please, thank you. Who was that? All right, so it went off.
She had to step away from the mic there for a second, but all is well. I'll let her get back in when she comes back if she needs, so she'll pop back up. But she's still in there, so all is well. Oh, you guys, okay, so now we can go forward.
All right.
No more echo.
Okay, good.
Okay. So the last thing you expounded on, you can continue there if you choose.
Okay. So challenges are temporary, but they don't feel like it at the moment that they're taking place. So how can we remind ourselves, even during that moment, that it's just temporary.
Everything in your lives are temporary. Everything is temporary. Your bodies are temporary. Your world is temporary. People tend to overcomplicate things. You came into this existence, into this body, onto this planet by choice. And there are many people who don't believe that. They believe that God put them here for a reason. You actually made a choice. You chose this because you wanted to learn. And everybody had something that they wanted to learn, or they wanted to experience, or they wanted to see if they could create it. This is not a penalty. You weren't sent here as a punishment. There is no punishment. Because frankly, there is no right and there is no wrong, but that's a whole different conversation for a whole different day. So when you recognize that everything is always changing, then when you have an issue come up in your life and you feel like, oh my gosh, I can't do anything about this, and it's going to cause all of these problems and it's going to just last forever, look around you. Just take a few moments to just look around you. Go outside. Go out into the nature. Look at the grass. Look at the trees. Look at the animals. See that it is all changing. It's not the same as it was the last time you looked at it. Everything has changed. Everything is always changing. You know, your science, every so many years, you've changed every cell. You are a new person. But you also have a belief in aging and in old and getting wrinkled and all of that happens because that's not something God has said has to happen. You can remain the same with the changes that are a natural part of your existence. And you have known people who don't seem to age. They seem to always be the same because they've let go of that whole concept of age. Let go of the concept of problems. What if you just simply saw it as, this is an interesting opportunity? And then you made the best of the opportunity. Why does it have to be a problem? Why does it have to be difficult?
It doesn't.
Why does it have to be complicated? It's up to you.
Indeed, that is very strong because that's another confirmation as well. Because certain circumstances make you realize that things are. For me, I've been the same. To me, I don't know what it feels like to be 56, in total honesty, because I still feel the same as I did when I was 8, 13, 24, 32. Now, nothing has changed, even in the aspect of me having the command or the will to do something. Like I might be a little older per se by numbers, but I still have the same drive of doing everything that I do. Some of it's even a little stronger because I have, star seeds around me. I have these strong energy fields around me that really show me, that I'm not getting old. It's like we're all infinite beings. And what's happening is we're just awakening, and our strength is becoming more if we're really for me, as I pay attention and as I realize and as I accept the responsibility for me as creation, all the things I have to accept, that's how my things seem to be increasing in value spiritually for me. And that's when I'm hearing more, understanding and overstanding more of what the ancients are saying to me, because it's been confirmed that they've been speaking to me the whole time. When I was electrocuted at 4 years old, when I started seeing these imaginary friends, they weren't imaginary at all. They were my children. I was in the studio and I had 6 of them at the time, and they were all little. because my goddess, she stayed, pregnant most of the time. She was resting, and I would be in the studio all times of night. They would be down there, whatever time they're up, they're with me. When I'm start crying, they come down there with me. This night I had 6 of them. I had even the arm baby at the time with me, and she was actually pregnant. And I was in the studio doing some stuff, and then a big field of energy came across me, just like it was when I was a child, when I realized I had imaginary friends. And then Source said, okay, these imaginary friends, we had an agreement that you were going to live your life, and you were going to remember us because you were agreed to protect us, bring us into this experience so we can do what we have to do. Because when you meet these, you'll know that they came for something, even if they didn't come through me. Like I've had to come to terms with my position is way different than what I thought it was, even as a parent. That parent thing is one thing, but the leader in a spiritual perspective, or being a leader or influencer or an inspiration, because that motivation and coaching thing, that's I've gotten past that part. It's more influence and inspiration and being able to connect on a spiritual level. And that part has been very, very real for me. That imaginary friend thing came to fruition, that we're never alone, and Source gave me the opportunity through a near-death experience to think it what it was, because I didn't know that's what it was initially. Of course, it was years later I started seeing people that had near-death experiences and started relating to their stories, and then having visions. I started doing quantum jumping really pretty heavy, and astral projecting really heavy, and then it came clear to me. Like all these things came clear to me, and since then I deal with them like that. We know that we're beings that are here for a higher perspective, but still dealing with the human aspect of things, and we have to navigate through. And I'm just doing the best I can to be the best influence and receive these messages and be able to, give them properly, because I know that they are what they are. And I've had to come to terms with the hell with what people think. Like, you know what I'm saying? Because some people that's been knowing me for years, it's messages that come through for them, and I have to give it to them. But sometimes I know that until it actually hits them, and they have to call me back and be like, bro, there's no way you could have known that. Look, I'm just telling you, man. I'm just telling you, when I have the feeling, I'm going to share the love, because that's what I realize the love is. And it could be, love is what it is. Love is as above, so below. It hurts, it heals, it kills, it does all kind of things. Love, so to say. So since that is the aspect of things, I put it in its proper perspective for the way I have to, perceive it and, actually interject it into my experience. So I'm just out of the way, but I realize that's true. And the presence of, that's what has gotten me to that, being present in my now, knowing tomorrow I can't bring it back, even though I want to think about it. I can't duplicate tomorrow. I can do what I did yesterday to make it seem as if it was today, but it will never bring back tomorrow. And I don't know if I'm going to wake up to see tomorrow or yesterday. Like yesterday doesn't exist, but I don't know if tomorrow is going to get here, because I'm not sure if I'm going to wake up to see it. But yesterday is no way that I can bring it back and say, hey, I'm here from yesterday, or here, let's go through this experience again. So since I know that it's present now, like I said, everything has put me and made me have to force myself into, hey, do this now. You don't get a chance to do anything else. What you get to do is what comes up now. And my knowing increased. My faith went totally away. I don't believe anything now. I know what I need to know, because I know that all is well. I don't go back and forth about any studies. I've studied everything. I've studied the Holy Quran, the Bible, the Book of the Dead, the Kabbalion. I've studied so much that I've extended myself past that part to where it's about the action with me. It's totally about the action. And I know, based upon what Barbara Grace has brought to the table for me and confirmed for me, it's really about the action. And I'm grateful for the present now, because it will never be anything but that. And I will let the mic be given away. Because I could go in on that. I feel very confident and strong about that present now. And the more, we do that, we align to our space. It's like, I've been saying, and for you to say that we hold space, that's exactly how I feel too, because it's sacred for me. It's sacred for me to show up in alignment. And I know when I do, it's like I'm in alignment with the source. I'm in alignment with source has given me access to the commandment that I choose, the will that I choose, the intention that I chose. And because I've already allowed it into my perspective, I know that all is well. And I don't have to know anything but that. As long as I know that all is well, that's the confirmation that I've gotten. As long as I know that all is well, I don't have to know anything else. I don't have to know anything else. That's it. I know that all is well in the perspective of love, and I've accepted it from the hurt, the harm, the good, the bad, whatever you want to call it. I've accepted it. I've put it out there. I've perceived it, and I realize it's just the balance we have to keep. So, I yield. And you're welcome to say something, Richard, because I know you got a wealth of knowledge over there, and I'm feeling it. I feel chills just looking at you and the expressions, because I know that Jasmine, you too. I know y'all got a wealth of knowledge for us, so I'm here to receive. Okay, so just know that about me. Yeah, I get a little long-winded because I know I'm supposed to give it, but I just forgive me if it's too much. Thank you so much.
It's all good, my friend. I'm holding space for you to express that truth that you have. I will add to this, though. There's a point of holding space where you are basically sharing an energy, a vibration, a frequency, and you mentioned Rife frequencies, and of course those are electromagnetic energies, but these are spiritual. But it's the same idea. By creating a field of vibration of spiritual light, others around you can connect with it, and in synchronicity become aligned with that energy as well. And so it's a being, but the being has an effect on the doing. It's a passive doing, if you will. Indeed. And it is, of course, very, very powerful.
Indeed, I receive. And the Rife, I actually I use it for healing purposes, but at the same time, like you say, it's frequency electro. I kind of like the frequencies of the chakras and stuff like that. I've used my Rife machine to kind of create some, sound frequencies, and that's kind of for healing of, because my mother had cancer. She had stage 4 cancer in several different places, and she was dealing with dementia. And when I came across Rife, the Rife healing, it really was effective. You know what I'm saying? In all aspects of what I was using it for. And because I'm just I'm a high vibrational being spiritually anyway, based upon my mother. You know what I'm saying? And I just utilize whatever I can to raise a vibration, really. And I want as much input and direction that aligns with what is for my knowing to come forth, because I'm open. Like I said, I'm not ever going to be close to information from a youth, from an elder, from anything, because we hope this space is ours all in the oneness of. And the minute we close off our ability to receive, then we don't really complete the mission. For me, I just want to do what I'm here to do. And since I'm knowing now what I'm going to keep on doing what the knowing shows me. And, I know I'll attract the right, or will manifest the right situations at all times.
Oh, excellent. I'll add just one little detail, just for what it's worth, or for the future, or whatever.
Okay.
I'm an engineer by training.
Okay.
It happens to be industrial systems, but I did electrical engineering and mechanical, and all those things are part of the program.
Mm-hmm.
So I was connected with Rife, or learned about Rife ages ago.
I can learn from you then. I can
30, 40 years. Well, perhaps mechanically.
Mm-hmm.
Perhaps the buttons and the dials and the sine waves and all of that.
Yeah.
But it's the experience and the attunement that you use to know which frequency and where and how. That's coming from your heart. That's not.
You're right.
It's not in a textbook somewhere.
Truly, thank you for that.
Right. So I just mentioned, though, that that's my perspective includes that hard science, and for me, in large part, on more than a few occasions, and Barbara will laugh as I say this, it's the challenge of balancing the head and the heart, because the engineer's up here, but the healer's here.
Mm-hmm.
And integrating those two and coming from the heart, utilizing what's available as a tool,
mm-hmm.
but not as a command.
Indeed. I totally relate to that. In a very, very major way. That touches home totally. So, and that's
I'm not surprised to hear that at all.
Yeah, that's for all of us who are chosen, I think, because we come here with special abilities to learn and different things, and because healing is our first part of a creation, what we came here for. Yeah, I truly see how that is. It goes hand in hand, and it is totally tied in as above, so below. It's like the total,
Well, healing, yes, absolutely. But some of us are also here as builders,
hmm yeah, indeed,
to create
indeed.
new.
Okay,
And in my studies, I've come to understand that even though I'm older than most, I have the vibration, the energy, the whatever of the so-called indigo children. And
okay,
so, I apparently chose to take on that energy and those qualities as a forerunner for others.
right, right.
But for those who are indigos or crystals, or pick your label, rainbow, whatever,
Yeah, yeah.
each of them have a certain general idea and a mission. And for indigos, part of it is exposing the false, is identifying what's not right. Hey, that doesn't work. Well, that's not fair. Or
Right.
whatever.
I must be indigo. I mean, I haven't tapped into exactly what everything I am, because I feel like when I did that, I found so many different aspects of things coming into me. I wasn't able to decipher.
Yeah, well, it's from what Barbara has shared about you and what just in our interactions today, I'm inclined to agree with you. It's certainly something you can check. You just go online and do a search, and it'll give you all the
I've been
characteristics.
told that. I just didn't never go into research as, but I'm accepting of everything that's good for us, our progress and vibrations to rise.
Right, and where I'm going with that is that all of us are healing in some way, but we may be healing by saying, "Hey, your leg is broken," or your cultural standard is not equitable or fair, or whatever.
That's exactly what I was going to compare to what you just said when you said some of us are builders and healers, and I say the builders heal too. That's what in my head I heard.
Yeah, it's a kind of healing, because healing is about wholeness. And so anything that you're either improving or identifying a weakness or a place of inconsistency, that's all part of the healing process.
Indeed, indeed. I appreciate, I receive. Thank you. Okay, well, Amina, you're welcome to go back to it. I appreciate that dialogue.
I appreciate it too. All right, so does time ever make challenges easier to deal with, or do we just grow larger in perspective?
Because in what you're dealing with, you're complicating the whole issue. When you are truly in the moment, going that
Excuse, actually, I surely don't mean to, disrupt the intermission, but it's breaking up pretty good. I was wondering if you could kind of refresh your browser, maybe, because you're going in and out, and we're hearing pieces of what you're saying, and I don't want to miss what you're saying, to be totally honest. As soon as she pops up, Amina, you can put her right back in.
Yes, sir.
And I really appreciate you all holding space with us.
Oh, for sure.
Oops.
Grateful to be able to have the ability to do that.
Thank you, King. I appreciate you. You know it.
Always.
And it's funny how that put her right back in the middle. Even though she popped back up, it put her right back in the middle again.
Can you
I can hear you.
hear me?
Not on screen. We can hear you though.
Yeah, we can't see you.
Waiting for
Yeah.
show back up. I'm sure I'm going to come back.
No worries. Hey, just for the record, did any of you check to see if we were live on Facebook?
I did. We are.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
You're very welcome.
Okay. I don't know why I'm not showing back up. Let me turn off the cam back on. Okay.
Your mic is still off.
Thank you, baby. Well, why don't you try to flip it from the front to the back again? Because I know before
I
when you
just did that and it didn't
oh, you
do
did?
anything this time.
Okay. Let me see if I can if anything I can do. I was gonna say hi, camera, keep audio, and I'm gonna pull you right back up because I'm gonna just see if it does anything. Nope, not on my end. But we can hear you. We would love to see you, but we can definitely hear you.
Okay, well then I'll just keep giving you the message and I'll make funny faces and you'll never see them.
And that's when the camera will come back on and you won't know.
That's true.
All is
Um,
well.
okay, so often people complicate what they're dealing with by adding time in. They they make an assumption that they have to be finished by a certain time or that it's only good if they do it within a certain time frame. But you see, those are things that you give meaning. It's that way with every aspect of your life. The only things that mean anything are the things that you have decided to give meaning to. When you simply allow time to be a tool, you can, look at the time on occasion if you want to. That's absolutely fine. But don't live by the time. Because when you do that, you are not living in the moment and you're not truly being aware of who you are in that moment and how you feel in that moment. And feelings are such an important part of your existence. It is your feelings that give you so much information about your own life, about what works and what doesn't. So if you are working on something and you really want to devote yourself to focusing on what you are producing, don't add time in. Give yourself the space to be guided to where you need to go, to understand what you need to understand, to see what you need to see, to do what you need to do. And when you actually pay attention to that and live your life in that way, your life becomes so much more simple. And you are able to experience moment joy because there's no time, and so there's no restrictions. And you are keeping things simple and straightforward. So if you have something important to do, I would strongly suggest that you don't include time in it. Or if you feel like you have to have a deadline, if you just, for whatever reason, then take a clock, set an alarm for whatever that deadline is, and then put that clock in another room so that you don't look at it. And then you go ahead and do what you need to do.
I'd
Indeed.
like to add to that.
Oh yes, okay.
Um, Again, because of my background as an engineer, I've done a lot of software development, a lot of project management, working with teams of people. And one of the most common mistakes, and I've made it myself, I'll brag about the fact that I'm guilty of this, is to say, well, it's going to take 3 weeks to get this done. And so it delays it to take 3 weeks, where if I just said, well, we'll get it done when we get it done, we'll all work on it. And when it's done, it's done. And I've seen this, that it could be 2 weeks or 1 week, or there could be a breakthrough and you don't even have to do it at all. So it's sort of a twofold idea is don't try to rush it, but don't try to delay it either. Don't push it out and say it's going to take a long time to do. It takes the time it takes, whether it's an hour or a week. Do it, engage in it, work with the people, etc. and let it take the time that it takes based on what's going on.
Indeed.
And that does require, again, in a mundane world project management sense, that does involve extra communication, but the result can be more productivity and a greater sense of satisfaction as a result.
Indeed. I want to add to that because, like you said, it calls for communication. Because I've had to do this myself, it calls for the most communication for me inside of me. Because I've used that same technique on working out. Okay. Because I used to weigh like 333 pounds. And I got only that weight because my wife kept having children, and you don't realize how much weight you're picking up as a result of being pregnant along with your wife. So I got all of it. And I never, like I said, I never saw me being younger. I never saw me being bigger. So I moved around still the same way. Still played basketball, still jumped around. Yeah, I might have got tired a little faster, but at the same time, that never was a conscious thing. Oh, low, man, you're getting, or anything like that. So I've put it into perspective of just as you have. I just do a commandment, and that I'm going to align in the perfect space of alignment. Exactly like you said, I kind of took, it's just another, I took away the idea of time as well. And I know because of space, I'm just in alignment with what I know that I do. I'm co-creating with others, and I'm creating my own situation. And I know that every time I stay on that, like it's exactly, and don't waver, it happens just like that every time. But the human part, sometimes you'll be moving so fast, you'll forget the one technique that you're supposed to do and be trying to think, why didn't that work? And then I go back and revisit my thoughts and be like, oh, I didn't even state the intention. I didn't do and that's, for me, that's one of the most important things, because I've really opened and closed doors as a result of intent or willing, commanding, or not. Showing up at different perspectives of work as well as just relationships and all kinds of things. Just realizing that after the fact, man, if I would have just stated a commandment or will of intent, I would have, it's like always, it works for me. And it goes along with the vibration and energy that I have attached to it, because now that I know, it's not like I say, oh yeah, I believe that'll happen. I believe that'll happen. No. By the time I say it, I know it. It's just I'm not waiting. I'm just doing what I know to do to align. You know what I'm saying? So that's kind of like, because it's not, time is waiting too. Like if you're waiting for some, time has to be involved in that. So I have been really practicing and performing the action of stating the affirmation, commanding, willing it, and letting it go, because the universe knows exactly what is to align to in the proper space that I'm supposed to align. And I'm doing it in front of my star seeds so they can see that, this is what's going to happen as you get older. You guys got it already, but as you get older, you'll see that, you have the power to do this. I want you to take it now so that the magic and all the things that you have that I've had to practice, because I practiced everything now as a result of me wanting to heal my mom, or me wanting to be able to deal with the fact that I know she's got to make a transition without me and all these different things, and me being prepared and having children, and how am I going to carry myself in front of them, because my father kind of crashed and burned when his mother passed away. You know what I'm saying? I saw the family structure fall apart when his mom passed, made a transition. But she strengthened me because she always told me there was no death. She told me when she goes to sleep for the last time, she'll have a smile on her face. And to listen for her voice every time I think about her, if I hear her voice, know that she's talking to me. And I promise you, man, it was 2-3 years later, my grandmother made a transition with a big smile on her face. And ever since then, she's been communicating with me. And that's one of the things that I was kind of like, kind of feeling funny about earlier, because I would say that to some of my cousins, be like, man, grandma dead, man, don't be saying that. But she's not dead to me. I don't know if she told you this, but she told me, and she's still communicating with me. Now, so that's what was going on with me, and it's been going on with me. And I pass it to my children. So grateful I am that I've been able to have my children experience somewhat the same thing I experienced with my grandmother, passing. So my mother told the same thing. No, she was no death, just a transition to a higher perspective. You'll always be able to communicate. And everyone on here has an experience with her that has been personally proven and checked off, confirmed that she is present. She's active with us, more active now. I feel her, even when I could grab and hug her, I feel her more present now, because she shows up with none of that. Yo, boy, you supposed to be. It's different now. The energy is different. I feel it different, but I know it's her. So I know it's the energy that was given by her. So I'm so grateful for that. But that's just one of the things that confirm being present. And the more present I feel, you can connect. The happier I am, because she's on a higher vibration, the loved one's on a higher vibration, the more access I have to them. I told my father just the other day, because he's 82, he's with me. And sometimes he have a bad day. He's kind of, I say, Pops, please remember this. It doesn't matter how you lived your life. If you go up out of here with an attitude, you're going to end up dealing with an attitude immediately, even if you could change something after the fact. But if you go up out of here happy, then that's just the way I see it, because I have never fallen asleep angry and didn't have some kind of awkward dream. I fall asleep in a good state, I have a good state dream. You know what I'm saying? So I'm just saying it kind of goes hand in hand with me, because I don't believe that there's a death, you know. So I just wanted to share that, because it kind of goes, you know, along with what you said.
I hear you.
Mm-hmm. So Amina, you're welcome to take the floor again if you choose. I know I want to ask a question. I can go ahead and ask my question while she's doing whatever it is she's doing. Okay, so I'm 56, and I've been getting signs early on, like in my early years. But when I was in religion, when I was practicing Islam, I was a Muslim for 21 probably years straight. Never missed prayer. If I did miss prayer, I made it up. I did Ramadan, read the Holy Quran 21 years straight, because during Ramadan, you read sections of the Holy Quran each day while you're fasting, and at the end of it, you completed it. But in the same time, I was reading the Bible along beside it, because I wanted to have a clear understanding of both. So, then after I started comparing notes, and then it's just like I intended myself away from religion in general. Like, in no disrespect, I just kept stating intentions and stating, you know, wheels of what I so-called, you know, command in my experience. And that's on my 40th birthday. I literally woke up and could not bow down in prayer like that, but my meditating increased tremendously. Now, I still pray and I meditate very heavily, but I just couldn't do it the same way. It's like the perspective of religion just went away. And that was after, like I said, I was studying Hinduism, Judaism, Buddhism. When I got to Buddhism, it's like it shifted my whole perspective. And that's when I kind of like, my intentions changed everything, and I put down everything and just started walking in the oneness of the Christ-like mindset, and realizing that we're all above all of the things that they've ever told us, and the history says what it says, but you're going to have to decipher and feel what feels right to you, because you could have came through one lineage of understanding, and you're supposed to express that. This other being came for another, but it's not like we're supposed to be beefing about it. We're supposed to combine it and make sure it elevates, and that's what I realized. So I've just come to that. I know who I can work with. I'm supposed to work with. Who I'm not. I'm not gonna. It's all love. Because even if a person thought that I hated them, I still love them, because on every side of everything is the opposite side of it. And the love thing, I've been forced to love. I got a 19-year-old son right now in the streets, chose to be in the streets. He just jumped out the house like, to hell what y'all talking about. I can do this. And he's out there dealing with some stuff. You know what I'm saying? I went out from a place where he was safe and went to be homeless and went to, but then I was doing a moon ritual, and I promise you, I saw his face, and Source told me, hey man, this is the choice, this is the agreement that we had. Put him in proper perspective of love and know that he's living his experience. And when he wakes up from it, even if he has to transition, it's going to be such an experience and a revelation, because this man was a genius. He graduated at 13. He's written 4 or 5 books already. He had some issues earlier. He told me about 2 years after he was due. He had masturbation issues from 13 to 15, because his older brother, one of his older siblings, was influencing him incorrectly or whatever, or just influencing him to be however he chose to be. But it ended up affecting his mental, because he got addicted. You know what I'm saying? And that addiction thing, chemically, I realized after me studying, me going through my own situations and stuff, I realized this is a serious thing. Addiction is addiction. It could be sugar, it could be sex, it could be gambling, it could be alcohol, it could be drugs, it could be just the fact of, just whatever. Everything could be an addicted state, and get you an addicted state, and you can end up in a position. So I just kind of like had to come to the terms with, I'm gonna always love this man. You know what I'm saying? And I saw him a couple of times. We came across him, and I was able to tell him how much I love him and appreciate him in my experience. And please forgive me for whatever I could have done, because if it was something because I realized he had blamed me for a lot of things that I'm so grateful I have witnessed, or I have receipts to show that I'm really not like that. But because addiction takes over and makes you see how you want it. He's a powerful creator. He decided to see how he wanted to see it, and that's how it is for his experience. Even the last time I saw him, I told him, I love you. You're free to come whenever you choose to, but I'm not going to force you, man, because this is a grown man. I raised him grown. I raised them grown. I know he's got the power to survive, but it's just that I will so much more for his experience, but I had to accept it. And that part right there made me know that love is what it is, man. Love hurts like hell. Love heals too, because once I got over that, I'm not hurt anymore. I know this man is living out his perspective. He's doing what he's supposed to do. He's doing what he wrote in for his experience. He's doing exactly that. And I'm going to be a cooperative component to the best that I can, because when he calls my number, wherever I'm at, I'm going to be there as best as I can. So that's what I know to do. But I can't go and snatch him up. Police officer even told me, because I'm aggressive, I would have snatched my dude up and brought him back to the house. Me and the boys would have put him under some strict stuff, but that ain't what the creator allowed me to do. When we call the police, he's like, yeah, you touch him and he say something, you're going to jail. And because I've already experienced that, I can't be without my family. I can't take that chance. So what is it? Am I going to crash out for one and ruin everything for all of them? Or am I going to live for all of them and allow that one to live his experience? And that's for me, one of the most powerful things that I've had to come to terms with. But I have, you know what I'm saying? I'm living in the knowing that all is well with that. Yeah, it feels some kind of way when I talk to his mother. She's feeling some kind of way. His birthday was 3-4 days after her. So that was her baby doll. That was her present. And he was always, very intelligent young man. He's got that in the foundation of everything. So whatever he goes through, he'll be back. He'll be back to it. So like I said, I've had to do it. And I was a prodigal son. My mom's only child. I did some things that the average person don't even live through. So I'm grateful to even be here expressing it, and to have a family after that. Yeah, I know this is dynamic. This is definitely from spiritual royalty perspective. I know that we're supposed to do everything we can to raise the vibration, because mine came out so loving. They've been teaching me so much stuff, and they've humbled my ego. They put my ego right where it needs to be, so I know how to utilize it, because I want to have good relationships. Well, no, I don't want to. I command to have beautiful relationships with mine. I'm not even putting it out there like I don't, and I get the result of it, because these people on this panel and the others that are here, they show me so much love. My goddess and I, they show up. We go out places. We have a 15-passenger van. They think that we're celebrities, because these people jump out and they open doors for us. They don't let us get doors. The wife, if it's raining, the umbrella, they do things like we're royalty. And we didn't ask them to do this. It's just that the love makes this thing happen. Because I say, y'all don't have to do that. And they look at me like, dude, man, this. Go ahead and get in there, because you know what we're doing. So I can't do nothing but give very much respect and love to that. And it gives me power and it's assisting me now to be able to listen to what I'm supposed to be hearing, because I have to be able to influence correctly. So I yield. Amin, are you still there?
Yes, sir. I'm still here.
Okay, you can go ahead with the next question, because I know Barbara was waiting for me. I apologize about that.
No, trust me, it's completely fine. Okay. All right, so let me pull up these questions.
And I don't want to keep
Well,
Barbara.
actually, if I can, Malik,
yes,
you started off with something, and I wanted to comment about it.
Okay.
Oh no, that's fine. That's fine. Go right ahead.
Thank you. Your earlier comments in that stream of thought had to do with the fact that you had studied multiple different religions and scriptures and different things, and that both the son that you'd mentioned and others, go through and have their experience. And I've always liked the metaphor of an elementary school. That we're souls that are going through different incarnations, which are metaphorically like different grades in school. Mm-hmm. And at each grade, we have certain lessons we need to learn. And for those lessons, there are certain tools that are good at teaching us those lessons. Mm-hmm. So Islam has certain lessons that are important for some souls to get, and they have whatever momentum, consciousness, thinking that what's there is of value to them, and so they're drawn to it and they go into it and they experience it. And the same thing for Judaism. I happen to be raised Jewish in this lifetime. Mm-hmm. Same thing for Buddhism or Christianity or any of the different things.
Mhm.
But they're all, for me, religion itself is, for me, like training wheels. They're absolutely essential for a 7-year-old,
Indeed, indeed,
but not so much a 9-year-old.
right. Exactly. No, I agree. Thank you.
And so are training wheels valid? Of course they are.
Yeah.
They're magnificent. They're wonderful
Right.
for a soul that's in a place where that's where they're at.
Right.
Again, they're not so good for a 3-year-old.
Right. Right.
3-year-olds not going to get a lot of good out of a training wheel because they're not ready to even get on the bike in the first place.
Indeed. Indeed.
So those are just some thoughts that relate to what you had mentioned.
I so do appreciate the wisdom, my friend. Thank you, because I take that to my soul, to my heart, and I appreciate it. Thank you.
So back to you, Amina.
Amina, you good, Mimi?
Thank you. All right, so let me pull these questions.
And most I see, just a quick note. I noticed that a lot of these questions that you had on here, she answered the question like.
Yeah, that's why I'm having to look for a different one now because a lot of them have been answered.
Well, you can heart question. You can heart, because I'm going to do that in just a second. I wanted to ask a heartfelt question, but I want you to finish those questions first, just from a perspective of, knowing and just a confirmation of.
Yes, sir. I got you.
Yeah, because you got 2 or 3 more that you can ask that were a little different, but yeah. So you can go ahead. I you.
Oh, no, that's completely all right. Thank you. My question is this: how can we stop resisting the process of what needs to happen, and instead just allow them to unfold in their own time?
We find that one of the things that so often gets in the way for people is that they are looking at everything based on what has already happened. Remember, we said that so many people live in the past, and so many people go back and look at the past before they can move forward. They think that they have to understand the past, or that the past is going to dictate the present. We have encouraged Barbara Grace to learn a method of forgiveness. And this method of forgiveness actually dissolves the issue, whatever the issue is. And it takes away everything connected with the issue. And so when you are dealing with something in the now, and you find that you are having difficulties with figuring it out or moving forward or whatever, however you define it, if you do that forgiveness, you eliminate all of the past. And then you are in the now. You are living from the now. And you can move forward from the now based on what your heart is guiding you to do. So you don't need to have all of those attachments and difficulties. You can forgive it. And when you forgive it, you forget it. And you let it go. You release it from your entire existence. So it is no longer a part of who you are being. And that, for us, is the most effective way to move forward with your own life.
I have to confirm that, because you know how people say, I forgive, but I don't forget. I even used to do that as recent as probably a month ago. But I realized that, when you do truly forgive, you do forget. You forget the process of what the feeling was. You just pull that process up based upon, a low vibrational memory bank that's still present, and for me in hypnotherapy and NLP, I've been able to go in and get to certain parts of that and kind of, pull that around, push that around, and create triggers to not go back to that once it's over with, because it truly is over with. Like you say, yesterday is not ever coming back. It only comes back in the vision or the creation of our own process of thought. And that's the thing that makes it real again, but it's just not coming back. It only makes it real in the present now. That was real in that present now when it was taking place. It's just kind of revisiting that energy to me. And it's not, it's not a tomorrow, it's not a yesterday type thing. It's always now. It's just pulling it back up and allowing it to be present and affecting your now. And that's what I do regularly. I'm always over here pretty much having a constant talk with my young adults about things that I have done myself, and I see the potential of where it could potentially go when they're acting or carrying themselves a certain way or even responding a certain way. And it's not a tell you what it is, because it is what it is. The universe is going to give you what you put out, and it's scientific with that part, but it's been able to be proved by action, by their energy and attitude towards things. And just us really having the perspective of paying attention to the detail, creating in the now, knowing that it's always now. I feel, just from my personal experience, that's what's been the force of my creation, of getting myself in a balance, of even focusing on balance, or even understanding how that's the most important thing, like guarding my perspective, making sure that I am always consistently looking at it, not necessarily thinking or trying to respond, like a certain way, because feelings make you, or energy makes you respond a certain way. It's just balancing that energy when it comes in so that it does not come out the same way, because things that come in do not have to go out the same way. And because I create on a different level, it's like when they come into me and they come negative, when I put them out, it seems like I'm the one that's the most negative. You know what I'm saying? So I do my best to just stay balanced and do, what is according to, that intuition, that confirmation you said. It's all a agreement, and it's all gone when it's done. Yesterday will never come back. Situations from yesterday, like when somebody make a transition, that's a proof that yesterday they make a transition from that physical being. That being is not going to never work again the same. It has to be, something has to happen for it to, go ahead and fulfill its destiny for its final return. But as far as what is in terms of the body is concerned, but the being still has a responsibility. And thank you for that. It's just all this confirmation. I haven't said I'm good to say, okay, I question a thing that if it was something different to me, because I'm looking for the actual balance of things, and I'm open because I don't know everything. And I appreciate you, Richard, because you gave me a whole nother perspective of looking at things. I mean, from just that one thing, and that's what we're here for. So again, thank you. And Amina, I yield. I didn't want to get there, and I want to keep it moving because I think
No, it's all right. It's all, trust me, it's all necessary.
All righty, thank you.
So this may very well end up being my final question because most of them have already been answered.
Okay.
How can we work towards trusting that we're being guided in the right direction?
We would like to, first of all, say something about addiction. And there has been a bit of discussion of addiction, and we want you to understand that addiction is when someone is trying to live in the past. They are trying to repeat what has already happened. And it doesn't work because you've changed. Even if it's something that you did 10 minutes ago and you felt absolutely amazing, and you think, well, if I just do that again, it'll feel the same. Well, no, it won't, because you are not the same. And whatever you are using to achieve that feeling is not the same. Everything changes. So when you are looking to be the most effective person that you can be, that forgiveness is an important part of that, because you must let go. We love that particular song from that movie, and people were walking around singing, let it go, let it go. And they didn't really have an understanding of the depth of that concept. When we are telling you to let it go, we're telling you to let it go completely. to allow it to be completely removed from your existence. It's not a matter of going back and saying, well, if I do that, but I just change this little part of it, then everything will be different. Because you are still attached to what you have not let go of. And we find it very freeing to forgive everything, including the things that you enjoyed, including the things that you love, including the people that you love. In fact, we would recommend that everybody go through this letting go process every day and put your entire family in there and let them go. Because you have things holding you back that you really don't even recognize because it's normal for you. And when it's normal, you no longer see it. So if you want to experience more of the divine guidance, which is within you, which is always there for you, your heart is always talking to you. Your team, everyone has a team that they work with. And it can be a small team and it can be a team bigger than you can ever imagine. But your team is always there for you. And they are always doing what is for your highest good. You notice we did not say they are always doing what you have asked them to do. Because if what you have asked for is not for your highest good, they're not going to do it. They are only going to do what is for your highest good. Because they want you to be the very best that you can be. And in order to be the very best that you can be, you have to let go of the idea that you know what the answer is, because you don't. You do, but you don't. It's not going to come from your mind. It's going to come from your heart. So allow yourself to be guided. And if you are thinking, oh my gosh, they never guide me, I don't know how to be guided, how do you do this? There are tools that can help you, like automatic writing. Barbara Grace began automatic writing because she had all of these questions and she wanted answers. And she didn't feel like she could get the answers. And we who introduced her to automatic writing, and she began doing that. And as a result of her connecting in that way and doing all of that writing, she began to hear. And so then she was hearing the answers. And then someone asked her, well, how do you activate your third eye? And so she asked, activate my third eye. And she wasn't expecting the answer to come the way it did, which was someone called her and said, this is the situation in my life, and I want you to go within your third eye and tell me what you see. And her response in her mind, she didn't say it, but in her mind was, but they haven't activated me yet. And she heard, just say what feels right. And so she started saying what felt right. And then she started seeing what she was saying. So by listening and following her guidance, she allowed her third eye to be activated. So we don't do things the way that you expect us to do them. We never have, and we never will. But we do what is for your highest good in every moment. Everyone has that divine connection. Everyone has access to that wisdom from their heart. It's there for everyone. So if you need to forgive to get yourself out of the way, then by all means, Forgive. Because you have everything that you need. You just have to be willing to allow it into your own life. Does that answer your question?
Entirely.
In a good way. And then you added about the addiction thing. I wanted to just add something that's it's just a story, or it's an experience that I had, because I was, I'm not proud of it, but I'm grateful for the experience because it taught me a lot. I was in the streets heavy. Like, I got out of the military and I felt wronged because I did good in college and was not able to get a job. And a lot of my associates that didn't even go to the military, they had just went straight from high school to the streets, and they were doing rather good, you would think, when I came home financially, because everybody had everything. So it looked like as if, as far as financing, and most of these guys were smart because I didn't really hang with dummies. I always had a crowd of people because I'm an only child. I hang with either only children or people who had a family background. I just realized that's what I gravitated to. And most times it was people that were older than me. But long story short, I had a friend that I met in high school that I didn't know that. Okay, so I was in a high school. I didn't like being in the high school in Alabama. My mom brought me there. And I used to go to the bowling alley with my mom because she bowled. Her and my stepdad, they bowled. They were in the league. They really bowled a lot. So I used to go with them and I used to bowl with them. But I used to see my mom talking to this lady all the time. And they were always hugged up, friends and everything. But I never saw her with anybody but her and her husband. And I've been in school. We've been in school probably six. I had already been through one school year, and we were in like the 10th grade. And this is when I realized, who this person even was in my experience. He showed up at the bowling alley with his mom, and I'm like, dude, who you here with? He said, it's my mom. It's my mom right here. My mom and her were almost best friends, and he was a year older than me, so we automatically kicked in. He had his permit. He had his driver's license, and I had my permit and a car. And because my mother and his mother knew we were both only children, they knew they could trust us. My mother said, well, shoot, since y'all friends now, you can go ahead and practice your driving. As long as his mother dropped him off to you where your car is at, you know what I'm saying? And y'all can drive around. Because my mom taught me how to drive when I was 8 in Detroit, Michigan. I used to drive her home if she have a headache from some of the family, events and stuff. So I started driving really early, like learned how to drive. So it wasn't unusual. But we became good friends and we learned a lot. He was the one that when I went to the military, he stayed home and became like a kingpin. That he was like somebody that I kind of like supported. He looked up to me. So when I started talking to him about school and how I was going through some things, he was like, bro, you don't have to do that, this, that, and the other. So I got involved with the streets. And in that perspective of things, I'm saying this. Throughout that thing, I met a couple people. I had a couple of friends. A couple of them got addicted. They actually started using. And she said something about addiction is when people attempt to, revisit the first thing. And that's true. Because when it comes down to that substance, as far as crack is concerned, when someone uses crack, it's like they're looking for that same thing over and over again. And one of my friends I never would have thought, who we had to kind of cut off for a minute because he got addicted and we didn't want to be involved because we didn't want him to, we just didn't want to have no altered situations. And he ended up I asked him, man, why'd you even start that? He said, man, that first hit, man, I just been on it. I've been trying to find that since. So it was years later, after we all had grown up, and I said, bro, I'm so grateful that you got. How did you get up? He said, I realized I couldn't find that first hit. So she just confirmed what that was a life experience for me. But she just confirmed it because that's what you're looking for. You're looking for the first thing, and it confirms it with my son because he started masturbating when he was 13, turned 15. He had stopped himself, did a course on it and everything about it, but he was still he's still young and full of energy to get to it. It's just that masturbation wasn't the part that was satisfying anymore. And you can talk to his siblings and they'll tell you that, he was aggressive. He was wanting to be out there in those streets. He had said it quite a few times about different things that he was going to do and things of that nature. But, like I said, I'm just grateful that it is what it is. And I get the confirmation because it gives me peace in knowing that all is well. All is well, no matter how it turns out. All is well because it's designed to turn out that way. And if we do anything different, it's probably going to turn out different, and that's not how it's written for us, obviously. So I had to add that because and then that same friend, let me tell you what really assisted my life to change, because that same friend, when I came home from the military, like I said, he put me on, but I ended up being surpassing all of them. And one night I was at his house, and I'm known because I'm out the military. I got a lot of guns. I'm not a big head. I don't start nothing, but I got a lot of people know that dude. You don't want to mess with him because he got stuff. I was at my friend's house with him and his at the time his girlfriend and her 2 children, and I leave his house. We had just our normal time because we spent a lot of time together. I left. I get a call less than 15 minutes later from his first cousin, who was a female, saying, "Hey, get back over to Billy's house. He got shot." And I'm like, "That's not possible. I just left there." You know what I'm saying? It's not possible. She said, "No, you got to come. You got to come." When I got there, the police were already taken off the house. Somebody came in and robbed him, killed his girlfriend in front of the 2 children. The children they didn't know that the children, because when you open the door, it's some stairs behind the door. That's a bedroom upstairs. And the people who came in, they obviously didn't realize that that was the case, because Billy knew these people because he let them in. And they came to the door. And I'm thinking maybe he thought it was me knocking on the door coming back, but that was messed up in my heart for a minute, because like that was my best friend, and that took some from me. And at that time, that's when I flipped. I really kind of lost bearings, because I'm rolling around, I'm looking for people. We got hit squads on people. We know who. We found out who did it. We doing some stuff that you probably can't, not supposed to get forgiveness for. You know what I'm saying? I'm so grateful, like I said, that I realized that it was supposed to take place like that, and I had to forgive myself, because I wasn't there to harm nobody. You know what I'm saying? I didn't do aggressively. If you take something from me, I'm gonna come take it back. But I've never took nothing from nobody. I never robbed nobody. I never did. That's not my character. I've never taken. That's just not the energy. But when that happened to him, it changed the perspective of my street life, and that's what made me really stop, because I got depressed after that, and that was the first time I ever got depressed. And then when I got depressed, I was thinking suicidal, and then it flipped to homicidal real fast, because I had so many people that I felt like would deserve to die more than me. So I was like on some other stuff, and I just had to leave the state I was in, had to go get rehab in my mind, because I was addicted to get money. And anybody who stopped that, anybody who interfered with that, I feel like my addiction was worse with that than a person that was on crack. And it wasn't until I went to prison that I realized that I was equal to the ones who had any addiction. Matter of fact, it was worse, because I was the one out there feeding people this crap. You know what I'm saying? And I wasn't raised that way. So I have made an atonement. I've had to get forgiveness. But I know this was all before any of my children were born. You know what I'm saying? So I'm grateful for all of the experiences, because I know the Creator wouldn't have given me this family had I cursed my soul, so to say, if I had damaged the blood. But what's created to go forward in the way it is for us, and on the level it has been, and all the things that have happened, it's proven to me we're chosen. We have something to do, and I'm just doing everything I can to be in alignment to what it is at every second of space that it shows up. But I just wanted to share that, because that addiction is real, and that's, but he told me that, and because I was like, I didn't lose respect for him. I felt sorry for his family. I felt compassion for his family and all of that, because my other friend had did. But when I saw him and he was doing better than I was, because he took his life back, you know what I'm saying? We were all good people. We just thought we were forced to do something. We all were educated, you know what I'm saying? We just came from good backgrounds and everything. We just decided that we were not going to put up with what the system in the South was giving us. And I was in Alabama at that time. I'm from Detroit, but I was in Alabama. So I had my own feelings, but I'm so grateful that I experienced all of that, because it gave me an awakening to really listen to what is being said in my intuition. Because Amina, you asked that question, and we've talked about this before, about what to do or how to know that we're progressing. My intuition, like I'm giving you practicing on all the time, that pay attention to your intuition. It's never lying. It's never lied to me. Never, ever, even when I didn't like it. And I'm going to tell you, my intuition has saved my ass so many times, like especially being in the streets. I would be thinking some kind of way, and all of a sudden I get this feeling, I'm out. And then wherever I'm out at, something will take place. And it's been every time. And that's my life, just not in the streets, but when I became a business owner and came after all my experiences and dealing with real estate, doing rehabs and all these different things, and coming across different rich investors, realize these people are not wealthy. They're rich. They got a rich perspective of how they go, but they'll cut your head off to get $1. You know what I'm saying? Wealth doesn't do that. I realize wealth is just knowing that all is well. You'll be all right. You know what I'm saying? So I'm just grateful to know I'm in a wealthy state of mind because I don't have any concern about income anymore. What I've learned about about being a straw person, being all of this stuff that we are like that, what I've learned about that, I'm not concerned about income anymore. I'm focused on making sure that we free the people and, assist people to realize that we all got a bag. We all got a bag. So I'm just grateful to know. Yeah. So yes, please. Please.
Well, if you're finished.
Yeah, I am.
Yeah. All right. So I want to go back to the question of how do you know that you're always making progress?
Mm-hmm.
And the simple answer is because you are. The universe is self-correcting. If you have an experience and you don't learn the lesson, that lesson will come back to you again in the future in another form, another person. I mean, how many times I've heard this talked about women more than men, so I'll put it in that context. Women keeps dating the same man in different bodies because they haven't learned the lesson that interaction is meant to bring them. But when they do, then they don't have the attraction to that kind of person anymore.
Right.
And so you may not be learning the same lesson all the time because you got a big inventory of lessons to learn. But if you don't learn it this time, it'll come back again, and we're in a constant state of transcendence, of growth. That's who we are. We're expressions of the universe. It's always more.
Indeed. Thank you for that.
It can't not be.
Cannot be. Indeed. Thank you for that, because that helps take a lot of pressure off my king son Amir right there, because that's a powerful being right there. And sometimes he puts more pressure on himself than he needs to. Like I tell him, hey.
Well, I will say, I hear you, because those of us who take ourselves seriously often have the biggest challenges. Those of us that see within us the capacity for more feel, I got to do more. I know it's in me. I feel it. I got to do it. And been there, done that. Got the T-shirt.
Yeah, indeed. It's hard to go away too. That feeling is a hard process. Some things will never go away until you act. For me, it just won't go away until I perform some type of an action that source gives me, freedom from it. Because otherwise, it's like I can't speak. I can't talk enough. I can't pray enough. I can't meditate enough. I can't jog enough. I can't do enough push-ups. I can't do none of that. There's something that has to take place. Yeah.
Well, there's a quote from Shakespeare that occurs to me, which is, "This above all, to thine own self be true.
This above all, that's
and must follow as the night the day thou canst be false to any man." And just follow your heart, be true to your inner self, whatever that is, whatever it's calling you to do, embrace it and go with it.
Indeed, that's the best advice I think anyone could give anyone, because that's coming directly from source. I feel that. Thank you. I appreciate it. I do appreciate that. Well, I didn't really have any more questions other than the fact that I'm so appreciative of the fact that you all showed up in such a short notice, and on behalf of Barbara, or just on the behalf of however the energy got you here. And I'm so grateful to have created an alliance with you, because this is a beautiful mastermind that we've created right now. And I will commend, and I know that the power that we all have individually and collectively is all with us all individually to carry on with us wherever we go, whatever we do. So I'm grateful to show up here with you all, and I'm looking forward to it, because she told me about you all wanting to meet with me, and I'm open. I'm very, very I'm in a space now. I want to make family. I want to make a family present for all. Somebody must have helped. But anyway, we're all present. We're all present. You know what I'm saying? Get this thing really worked out.
Is it still echoing?
You hear me?
Okay.
After I mute, see if you're vibrating.
Can you hear me?
So, yeah.
Oh, okay.
So, yeah.
I could have said so much. we would have been on here all day. I'm in so much agreement with everyone, and Malik, it's something that you have love. That's who I am. Barbara and Richard can tell you that I'm the love person as well. Also, only child, and all is well, no matter what we may be going through, no matter what we're doing. And when you mention about the different religions and everything, we've all, well, I don't know everyone on here, but we've all come to that point. Well, at least I've come to that point, and a lot of us have, that there really is no religion. There is the Creator, there is us who has created us, and we are the creators
Indeed.
as ourselves, as
Indeed.
God in us. Um, so I just want to say thank you for the time. I don't want to continue to go on, but I was in agreement with so much, and I wanted to say something. I said,
No,
no, I'm just going to keep
thank
my
you so much.
peace
You're
and
welcome
just listen.
because I so much appreciate the love energy. That's what raises this passion for us. Hmm.
Thank you.
Thank you for showing me again. And I want to open to whatever you can do because I know about us connecting. We are
He's
here.
still echoing.
Yep, we are definitely here.
Thank you.
Different mics. All is well because we got the message. Everybody knows. Indeed. So if anyone else, Barbara, I would like to any closing comments or anything that the collective would like for us to know. Pretty much what we do and action. We put that action. We move forward as we can.
Okay, I heard my name, but there's so much of an echo. I have no idea what you said.
I'm just gonna mute some mics and see if I can get you from echoing. Can you
Oh, it's
say
clear
something?
now.
Yeah, because I muted a couple of mics. I'm just muting everyone's mic that's not talking right now. And if someone wants to talk, I just unmute it because on this end I can do that, and then it'll just decrease all of the echo, and you'll be the only one speaking.
Was I supposed to speak about something in particular, or am I just supposed to give a closing message?
Just a closing message as to individuals that may come across this specific logic. I'm going to send this to people that I know didn't get a chance to get on it, but it's just important for the love perspective of knowing that we are entities within of the source in the oneness of in agreement of what we know that we have to do, and that's raise the vibration. And it's all healing, as Richard said, it's the healers and the builders. We're all here to do the work, and we got to just. I want to connect them up. It's just like that. I just want to be in the standing of the representation of putting us together. I'm going to do my part, and that's just a part of my part. It does not stop me from creating the other part, like doing the work. It's not just putting people together, but consistently staying active. And I've got pretty much so far everyone that you see on here, the ones that are here, we've got a pretty much a commitment to one another, not just it's to one another, but it's to source first because we all agree that we know our power, and we're just working together to raise the vibration as best we can. No compulsion, no judgment. Unapologetically, unlimitedly, and unconditionally, just sharing the love as we can. And I do know, in a real state of where we are, life happens, space and time is on our side, and I'm just not willing to I'm very compassionate, but I'm not very humble. Respect, and I might have to go through some things to get to that, but humble in the way it's defined to me is I would much rather be compassionate because I don't want to take away any power that I have to give the love that I know that I'm by being in the sense of back it down. No, I'm not here for that part. So thank you again for the love that you share, just being present in the presence with me. Richard and Jocelyn, thank you so much, and y'all team, Barbara, Grace, thank you so much. I'm grateful for this lifetime of connection because I know this is from now on for us. And my clan, y'all know how much I love y'all. I can't express that enough. So again, I appreciate it. And Barbara, you can definitely speak and say the last words. And I love you all. Thank you for showing again.
Okay.
I'm gonna unmute.
All right. So this is a community built in love. This is what you created with your family. This is what each of you have created with your family. It's about the love. And we're not talking about the gushy, romantic kind of love that people are taught about. We are talking about the eternal love, the eternal connection that each of you have with your Creator. The Creator has created the individual aspects of themselves because they wanted to experience, they wanted to evolve. They didn't just want to be and have things never change. That would be so incredibly boring. The Creator wants life to be interesting. The Creator wants to learn. The Creator wants things to change. And so that is the energy that created each and every one of you. And that is why you live lives that are changing. That is why you evolve. That is why you are learning and you are getting opportunities to become more. You are the energy of the Creator. And that is true no matter what name you use for the Creator. You can call them God, you can call them a goddess, you can call them Allah, you can call them Buddha, you can call them anything you want to. Because the name is not important. You are in that energy of the Creator. And you can feel that power within you. Because it is there for each and every one of you. And the Creator has never, ever denied anyone that power. And no matter what you do with it, you can be considered the worst person on the earth. You still have that power. That's why we say there's no good and there's no bad. It's all about being you. It's all about accepting yourself. It's about recognizing who you are and who you are choosing to become. The love is your guiding force. No matter what, you are always guided. And there is no one of you that knows the answer to every question, and everybody should listen to that one. That is one of the difficulties that Jesus has with Christianity. You know, they've taken him, put him on the top of this pedestal, and said, he is the one, and we all need to bow down to him. And that is not something that he ever taught or ever will teach. It's about equality. It's about recognizing that you are equal. No matter who you are, no matter how old you are, no matter how young you are, no matter what sex you are, no matter what race you are. None of that matters. Because within you is the power. And if you utilize that power to create what your heart is guiding you to create, then there's nothing more the Creator could ask of you. Because that is bringing evolution to everyone and everything. Because you're not alone. You're all connected. And you are all loved. And you are all loved, no matter what you do or say.
Well, I received that. I received that wholeheartedly. And I am grateful for the love that I receive, and I feel it energy. Oh, I was getting chills the whole time you were explaining or sharing the confirmations. And like I said, I call myself one of the most grateful individuals that grace the planet, because I know that my mother gave me the aspect of having faith and being grateful for it. And that's what got me to not having faith anymore, but getting to know and having a knowing to things. When they come across my process, I know what I need to know. Like if it's something that I have to figure out or believe, it's not meant for me to just for me. Like that's because I've been here long enough to recognize it. So thank you again for the opportunity for you to share space with me and our clan. And again, Jocelyn and Richard, thank you so much. I'm looking forward to going further with you all in whatever way we can, because I've got, what we do, we create, alliances by how we communicate with people and what we can do. Like things, if we can see ourselves doing something in the face of something or someone else to raise a vibration, and we kind of do that, because the whole time Amina's probably been writing notes like she's out. It's funny she said about the automatic writing, because I gave them we went through a course with Michael, I can't remember his name, a couple of years ago about automatic writing, and I've been doing it all my life, didn't realize that that's what it was. And she's right. It's now I'm going to even start doing it even more. But everything that I come across, even if it seems gibberish, I realize later it's not gibberish. It's something that's really meant for me to hear. I might not be right when I write it either, because I got a notebook here. Like I just do my notebook all day. I got, and I go back to something that I wrote in, maybe like November of last year. And I'm seeing like a lucid dream, the astral projection is something that I experienced while I was going through it. This is just my notes. And I realize that that's important in our words that come from our writing. Once we write and create and everything, it's extremely powerful. So I'm here to create alliances. If you have ideas or anything you think that we can do, or, suggestions, I'm open. Just please know that I'm open. And I'm appreciative of you being here. And Barbara, much love, much peace, much prosperity on everything you intend to create, you will to create, you command to create, and everything. I will do the success for it. So thank you again for being here. She can't hear me. Can you hear me, Barbara? You good? Okay. And let me mute my mic for a minute so I can get my dog out of here. He's acting up. One second. Okay, so Barbara, you still there? Maybe I'll bring her in and bring her back out, because I'm not sure if her connection went away, but we're good here. Let me make sure everybody's mic is unmuted now. Are you good? You can talk. Well, you are administrator. You can talk anyway, correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So Barbara, I'm not sure if she's if her line is good or not, but I'm very appreciative to her message, her last message, and so as I said, I'm open to whatever we can do to raise the vibration. And when people look at this, I want them to feel the energy of the love that we are doing our best to project out, because that's the objective of our meeting, is just to share love and to give the perspective of what we feel, in the perspective of time and space, and to share. And on my videos, the shorts that I did, I asked questions. So please interact with those, and I'll respond to them. And if you have a question for anyone on the panel, so to say, I'm sure they probably would enjoy giving you information about some of the whatever it's a feeling, because I feel the elders are here to, really share what's necessary. And I know I'm so grateful for my youngsters being here, because they take what the elders say and they actually utilize it, because they've had experience with elders in their experience, and they understand that the importance is, reaching their community right now. You know what I'm saying? Reaching their age group and everything, because who needs help? We all need help. You know what I'm saying? So I'm just there for it. Like, okay, so do we gotta do?
Thank you again. Thank you for the opportunity and the
Indeed,
pleasure.
indeed.
Thank you.
Always welcome. Okay, so I'm not sure if you can still hear. Peace, love, prosperity to everyone. I will come and allow that, feel the love that we, are to share. And up to me, you can't but feel it. Not force it to send it out. I'm sending it forth. So everyone who's feel it, they will. Thank you so much. Gratitude. Thanks. Talk to you all. Oh, there you go. My bad. So, Amina, that was great.
That was amazing.
That was wonderful. That was wonderful.
2 hours and 7 minutes.
2 hours and 7 minutes. 2 hours and 7 minutes. That's an 11. Look at that. 2 hours and 7 minutes.